Hey, it's Dr. Jen here. I'm a health and wellness coach, and I specialize in helping people safely navigate benzodiazepine withdrawal and bind benzodiazepine-induced neurological dysfunction. And today's video is about the topic that I blogged about today, which is green therapy. It's all about letting nature heal us. There are so many reasons why we need to be out in nature as much as we can be, especially getting our hands dirty if we can, because all of that is healing. So let's kind of take it bit by bit. If you know my story, if you've seen some of my videos or you've been on my website, benzowithdrawalhelp.com, you know that one of the things that I feel very certain that helped me get through benzo withdrawal bind the best was my gardening. I think I was maybe about 3 months off, maybe not even that much, after my horrific cold turkey, and I'd been in the hospital for a week. I had to be rushed back to the hospital after the cold turkey. So I was in really bad shape. And I remember waking up, and just the mornings, as most mornings are for people in benzo withdrawal, were just horrible, filled with anxiety and intrusive thoughts and pain. You know the story. But I remember this particular morning waking up and just getting a message from that which is greater than myself. And it was just like this download into my heart and soul. And it was go plant a garden. And I was like, wait, excuse me, wait a minute. Sounded like you said I should go plant a garden. I'm kind of bedridden here, like, having to use a walker. I'm very dizzy, can't think straight. Like, but you expect me to get up and go plant a garden? Yeah, and it was pretty much a very emphatic yes. So that's what I did. I tugged on my overalls and found my way out into the front yard. I remember holding onto the walls of the hallway and got into the front yard. Now, at that time, I was renting a duplex, and it was just nasty grass, and it was just all horrible. And I called my landlord and said, can I tear out some of the area grass and put in a garden, plant some flowers? And Steve was wonderful. Steve said, I don't really care what you do as long as I don't have to pay for it. I was like, okay, great. So I had permission. So that's what I did. Tore out the grass, and it was little by little by little by little. I was very weak, very dizzy. It was just really awful, but I did it little by little. And what I discovered over time was that by focusing on the garden, focusing on the plants, going online to, I'm so blessed, I live nearby to Annie's Annuals, ANNIES Annuals, anniesannuals.com. It's a nursery here in the San Francisco Bay Area, and she sells beautiful, beautiful exotic things. And so I would go and spend hours on her website looking at flowers, learning how to really be a better flower gardener. But anyway, over time, little by little, that tending to the garden, that outward focus, and the curiosity, what would look good? What will this plant do? How does this plant, what's its life cycle? Those things helped my nervous system let go of this just grip into the protect state, which is through no fault of our own. That's where we find ourselves most of the time in benzo withdrawal. Because of those downregulated GABA receptors, our nervous system doesn't have enough of that balance to come to homeostasis so that we can move over into our default state, which is that parasympathetic ventral vagal response called the connect state. So through no fault of our own, we're mostly in that protect, fight, flight, or freeze because we don't have the calming ability. So being in that state is really a challenge, but it's really hard to get out of it because this isn't a psychological problem. This is a hardware problem. We have a chemical brain injury. Fortunately, it's the kind of injury that heals itself. It's not blunt force trauma or lack of oxygen. It's really neuroadaptation. The receptors have downregulated, but then the brain goes, wait a minute, Now we're too excited. Hey, let's bring back the GABA receptor. So it's that type of an injury. You will heal. You will. So, but that outward focus on the garden, being outside in nature, listening to the birds, and there's something special about the birds I'll tell you in a few seconds, that I think helped release some of the grip and like I wasn't suffering as much when I was outside because it was this outward focus. I wasn't trapped all the time in here thinking about all the doom and gloom and whatnot. I mean, I still was to some extent. Don't get me wrong. It's not like, oh, you're going to go out and garden and everything, you just feel so much better. It's not quite like that. I wish it was, but it will turn down the volume of our suffering. So my garden kept me alive. And I know that sounds like, real an exaggeration maybe or whatever, but I really feel like it did. It kept me alive. And it helped me heal. It helped me heal in all the ways a human being might need to heal. It wasn't just benzo withdrawal. My gardening, being out in nature, all of that really was part of the whole healing journey that I went on. So, things about green therapy that are important to know. There is a bacteria, I forget how to pronounce it, but it's in my blog. It's in the soil, and it gets in us by hook or crook when we're getting our hands dirty, and that bacteria has been proven to help boost our serotonin production and amount of serotonin we have available, which is one of the feel-good neurotransmitters. And they've done some really interesting research on people gardening and people who have really, really severe depression and garden, and it's just amazing what it does. And one of the things that's really cool about it is when they looked at different modalities, like reading a book, doing some other things to try to help, gardening lasts. It's not like, oh, you stop gardening and it just all collapses and you're back in, into the doldrums again. No, the gardening seems to last. So there's that benefit. And then neuroscientists, they report that when we're out in greenery, shrubs and bushes and trees and whatnot, within just a few minutes, our nervous system tries to get back to homeostasis. Now, of course, we probably aren't going to get there all the way because we've got a broken nervous system, but it's a step in the right direction. It's an encouragement of our nervous system. Hey, come on, let's get back over here to our default state where we feel really good and all of our cells work properly and all of our systems and organs, everything's working great. Let's get over here. So being out in nature is really, really good for that. I've already alluded to just the tending to the flowers, the plants, the vegetables. That's an outward focus. That's being of service to something that's alive. That's part of the fourth cornerstone of well-being. And those four cornerstones are eat right, which is a whole food plant-based diet, move enough, stress less, and love well. Be love in the world. So that service to others, that tending to, that's part of the fourth cornerstone. And the fourth cornerstone is really interesting in that there's so many ways that fourth cornerstone help kind of snip some of the connectivity that maybe we've developed over our lifetime to the threat detection circuitry, making us more anxious or depressed. And it helps grow more connection and more neuronal real estate to the prefrontal cortex. In particular, certain things help grow a region right back here behind my finger called the ventromedial prefrontal cortex. And that's what we want. So just tending to those things is good for our brain, good for our nervous system, just good for our hearts and souls. We know that people that live in more green areas, more trees and nature, that they have usually better measurable amounts of well-being than people that are living, in cement blocks in a very busy city. We're designed to be out in nature. We're animals. I think sometimes we forget that. And one of the other cool things about being out in nature, if you can be in a place where you hear birds, I just saw a study, I think it's 16 minutes, I think, could be wrong, but I think it's 16 minutes of listening to bird calls does amazing things in our bodies. So helpful, so healing. So I always have bird feeders out. I've got a bird bath, I've got suet balls, I've got seed on the ground for the birds that don't like to come to feeders. I've got a special seed out for the doves and the quail so that they come. The squirrels climb my feeder poles. They get to the feeders. I don't care. The more the merrier. I am feeding other sentient beings, and in doing so, I'm feeding and nourishing myself and my soul and my brain and my nervous system. But I'm also surrounded when I'm out there or even sitting downstairs in my den right by the window. I hear the birds. So I think it's 16 minutes, but just go outside for a good 20 minutes if you're in a place where you can hear birds, and just sit and listen. Listening is a whole nother topic that I could do a whole bunch of videos on, because I've written a few books on transformational listening skills. Listening is one of the most powerful things on the planet. And I think we forget that because our ego wants us to talk, be in charge. It's about me. Let me control the conversation. And trust me, listening is more powerful in so many ways than the speaking. So go outside, maybe take a yummy beverage, a healthy snack, whatever feels good for you. If it's chilly where you are, make sure that you're going to be warm, or if it's warm, dress appropriately. Go out to where you're going to be comfortable and see if you can sit or be in a recliner and listen. Listen to nature, not just the birds. What else do you hear? Do you hear the wind through the trees? Maybe you hear a cricket or a frog. There's been a cricket in my backyard even during the day, and I was moving some bags of potting soil because I just finished this year's demonstration gardens. The vegetable garden's in, and now the flower garden is in. And so this cricket was just singing for 2 days when I was back there over at Memorial Weekend, and I moved one of the bags, and big, fat, glorious cricket. So I made sure I paid attention. So go out with the intention of being mindful. What do you smell? What do you feel? What do you hear? What do you see? Do you taste anything? Go out and just let Mother Nature cradle you, because she will. You're one of her own. And although in benzo withdrawal it might feel like we've been abandoned and forgotten, we have not been. That's just state driving story. That's a whole other video that I've shared. If you're not familiar with that, you can Google state drive story and I mean, not Google it, but do a search on my website for that. And I can certainly do more videos about it. But it's just that negativity that we're going to think and feel because of that dysregulated nervous system, that's all. So go and let Mother Nature tend to you. Let her care for you. Take some time, get quiet, get out in nature. Go get your hands dirty. If you don't have the space for a garden, I'm fortunate that I do. If you don't, put some plants in a pot. Can't get outside, you're still too disabled from withdrawal or bind, my heart goes out to you. I was there. You're going to get better. But if you can't do that, plant something inside. Still can't even do that, have somebody plant one for you. This one sits on my desk. I've got one behind me. If you took a tour of my house, you'd see houseplants everywhere. Be surrounded by something else that's living. It's nice to have pets, but there's something really special about plants. So I hope that you will embrace what they call green therapy. I hope that you will get out there, go feel the sun, go feel the wind, go listen to the birds, go get your hands dirty. And I hope that you will come back on my website under the blog post that just posted today. Friday, June 2nd, and leave some comments. Tell us what you experienced. And short notice, but if you would like to talk more about green therapy and gardening and how it can be helpful, you can go to my website, go to the blog, and at the end of the blog, there is a link. And that is a link to my Discord, Heal with Dr. Jen support group. But you're going to get in for free. Now, you'll only be in a little private section of the group. You won't be able to see the entire support group, but you can get in for free tomorrow, 9 o'clock Pacific, Saturday, June 3rd. I think today's the 2nd. June 3rd, 9 o'clock. I'm going to go live in my Discord group, and we're going to talk everything about how we can use nature to heal us. I would love for you to join me. I know it's short notice, but we're going to be doing more of these for sure, and on various talks. But right now, before the true summer hits, while we've still got good planting time, come and join me. Come and learn about this fascinating and powerful healer called Mother Nature, called your garden, the birds, the bees, all of it. Be happy to share. And in the meantime, please take very, very good care of yourself. Please practice a lot of acceptance and patience, a lot of gratitude. You don't have to be grateful for benzo withdrawal, but you can be grateful in benzo withdrawal. There's still things to be grateful for. Be kind and gentle with yourselves, please. You're just doing amazing, amazing work getting through this. And I recognize the strength, the resilience, the fortitude, all of that it takes. I see it in you. And I just want to put my arms around you and hug you and say, job well done. Keep going. Keep going. And I'm certainly here for you to walk with you. And let's end this video as I end all my support group discussions. Are you ready? We'll say it twice. I am safe. I am healing. I will recover. One more time. Ready? I am safe. I am healing. I will recover, because that's true. So keep going, my friends, and I hope to see some of you. It's free. You can come and join for free. You're not joining the entire, support group. You can come for free and come and let's talk all things green therapy. I would love to see you there. Take good care. Till next time.